teams played today?
I thought that we were organized. First half, we were a little lucky to get out of that half 0-0 because we gave Vancouver some. We turned the ball over in bad spots, and it turned into some really good chances for Vancouver, and we're a little bit lucky on the day that they weren't sharper to finish some plays off. But then I thought collectively in the second half that our will and our concentration to now make sure that we could find a way to put that game on our terms. And at halftime, we said, this is a game we're going to have to win ugly. And it was just that kind of day. It was a lot of fouls, very physical, not a real rhythm to the game, and that's the way it's going to look sometimes. And we just had to grind one out and find a way to get a goal. And we talked at a half that the 1-0, it was going to be a 1-0 victory that we needed. So it was big for us to get a big win on the road and win in that fashion.
A massive difference today in the teams in that you've got one player like Bradley Wright-Phillips, just needs one chance, buries it. Whitecaps had so many chances, just couldn't bury it. When you've got a player like Bradley, even if you're not playing well, you must feel that you've always got a chance of sneaking the win.
Well, even when we talked at half, we're saying, I was trying to get Brad, as frustrating as the first half was, and it was physical, and it was hard for him to really find any rhythm into the game. I've continued to try to challenge him to only need that one chance. And when that one chance comes, that he's so alert and that his concentration level's so high that he's just going to bury it. So, he made that play right out of the half and obviously a huge goal. And he's shown that ability this year. He's shown that ability now to fight through certain moments, to dig out plays. I thought second half he was fantastic. He was just finding a way to gain an edge on every play. So it's always with Brad, it's always easy to talk about the goal scoring, and now I hear he's in 3 years tied the record for goal scoring in 3 years. But he just does so many little things to make our team good.
Jesse, no Sacha, no Kamar, international weekend, cross-continent trip, lots of games coming up that quote-unquote six-pointers against Big Eastern Conference teams.
Yeah.
Where was this game on the priority list, and how important is to have won it?
Well, from a table perspective, very big because it keeps us in the race for the first in the East, keeps us on our roll, which is now 10 straight in the league without a loss, 12 overall. But more importantly, I think the fashion in which we did it, the way that we were able to grind out a result. And we've played really well on the road in some games, but walked away with a point or a loss. And so for this game, for not to be the prettiest game and for it not to necessarily have a lot of fluidity and be the way that we wanted to be, for us to just find a way was really important, a really important development in our season, and it shows a lot of growth.
Jesse, the first win in Vancouver as well for the franchise.
Oh, that's right. First win against Vancouver, however, yeah.
Yeah. Just your thoughts on sort of, because the game, it was stop and start, you say, and then obviously your counterpart then gets himself thrown out of the game. And, I mean, did that actually give you a bit of a concern seeing that kind of stuff in the game?
I mean, for me, I don't think Carl was acting egregiously or obnoxiously. Maybe he was trying to make a point about a couple of calls, but I didn't think that warranted a tossing. The league is making this emphasis about bench behavior and coaches, and so I guess we have to find a way to be altar boys on the bench. So
I want to ask you, because you make no bones of being demonstrative when you feel you need to be, right? So
yes, you're right. One of the referees complimented me for being well behaved, and my response at that moment is, "You people think I'm crazy." So I mean, I respond to plays if I feel there needs a response, and if I feel like things are moving along, then I try to be respectful. But I don't know, people think I'm crazy.
Looking at going into this play, because the way things are tightening up here with your rivals, New York City, Toronto FC, what is the focus now in terms of the way you want to be playing once you hit the postseason?
Yeah, I think, we've been kind of in that mode for a while, just trying to think about how to, we know at Red Bull Arena that that we're the kind of team that really dictates the way the game's played and often finds ways to get results and is on top of the match. When you go on the road, for whatever reason, it just doesn't work out that way. And so we've talked about still trying to stick to the things that we think that we value, that we want to be about, to have a game plan in place that we think we try to execute, but most importantly, just to find ways to grind out plays, grind out wins, win battles. And so we've been so close on so many recent games on the road. So this is a big hurdle for us.
Would you say that one of the keys to winning the MLS Cup is trying to find form as of now to the end of the season? Is that always the magic thing for any team in this league to try and do?
You know, I mean, listen, the margins of error at the end of the year are so thin. Like last year, we get to the final game and we hit the post in the 93rd minute. And if that goes in, that sends us into extra time and we have a really good chance to move on to MLS Cup and host it. So, you know, we were in a good way last year and we came up just a little short. And I felt really good about our chances last year and I felt really good about our team. I love our team this year too. And I think actually in terms of maturity, that we're further along than we were last year. And in terms of the understanding of truly who we are, we're further along than we were last year. Hopefully in the end, that adds up to something, right? That's the goal. So whether it's pushing from here on in or continuing to push or when you hit your peak, I understand why people say that and some teams go on a run, but the key is to, I think, for us to understand what the biggest games are like and what the biggest moments are like and how to handle them. Okay, thank you.